There are 3 simple exercises that you can do right from your living room that burn more belly fat than an hour on the treadmill, and it all takes just 10 minutes. I've worked with tens of thousands of people over the age of 50 who are trying to lose stubborn belly fat, and these 3 movements I just keep coming back to. People drop 20, 30, even 50 pounds with these exercises, often hitting weights that they haven't seen in decades. So in this video, I'm going to show you what the 3 exercises are, exactly how to do each one correctly, including modifications so that anyone can do them, and then the 10-minute system that I use to combine all 3 into the fastest fat burning routine you can do right from your home. And as a bonus at the end, I'll show you where you can grab 5 free follow along workouts so you can start getting these results for yourself. To start, I'm going to show you the number 1 exercise for burning belly fat after the age of 50. And rest assured, it doesn't matter your age, your knees, your back, or how long it's been since you've worked out. There is a version of this exercise that everyone can do. So what exercise am I talking about? Burpees. A single burpee combines a squat, a plank, a push-up, and a stand-up into one movement. That fires almost every major muscle in your body at the same time, which is why it burns more calories per minute than running does. It also causes adrenaline to spike by as much as 400% and growth hormone by as much as 500, both of which directly target visceral belly fat. On top of that, burpees trigger something called the afterburn effect, where your body keeps burning fat for up to 48 hours after you stop the exercise. So you can do burpees on Monday morning and still be burning belly fat because of it on Wednesday night. Now, most people don't realize there's more than one way to do a burpee. They've only ever seen it done one way. Jump down, slam into a push-up, kick your feet back, spring up, clap overhead. That's the aggressive CrossFit version, which can be effective. But if you're not used to doing these and you're over the age of 50, then you want to start with an easier version and then gradually work your way up to that. So I teach this in 3 levels. So pick one that matches where you're at today and challenge yourself to try to go up a level in the coming days. Level 1 is the walkout burpee. Stand tall, bend down, place your hands on the floor in front of you, walk your feet back one at a time into a plank position, then walk your feet back in, stand up, and reach your hands over your head. If getting all the way down to the floor is too much, you can put your hands on the back of a sturdy chair or against the wall and instead step back, step in, and jump up. Level 2 is the same movement as level 1, but once you're in the plank position, do a push-up on your knees if you need to, and then step back up and stand tall. If you're ready for a little more intensity, you can add a small hop at the top when you stand up instead of just reaching overhead. And level 3 is the full burpee. Drop down, bring your feet back so your body's in a plank position on your hands, do a push up, jump your feet back in underneath you, and then explode up with your hands overhead. You only do this version once level 2 feels easy and your back stays flat when you're in that plank position. And if you want to take it even further, you could add a little weight to your hands and just hold on to the dumbbells. That's the burpee. And in just a moment, I'm going to show you how to actually combine it with these other exercises to start fat loss quickly with just a 10-minute workout. But first, let me show you the next exercise, number 2 in the lineup, high knees. You probably did these in gym class 40 years ago, but what you might not know is that for someone over 50, they're doing 2 things at once that almost no other exercise can match. The first is that they get your heart rate up fast. High knees burn 7 to 10 calories a minute, right up there with running, and they put you straight into a fat burning zone within seconds. The second key with this is what's happening to a hidden muscle group that most people have never heard of, your hip flexors. These are the muscles that run from your lower spine down to the top of your thigh, and they're responsible for lifting your knee towards your chest. After 50, most people sit way more than they should, and that causes those muscles to get short and tight. And when they're tight, they pull your pelvis forward and push your stomach out. So part of what looks like belly fat in the mirror is actually posture. But every time you drive a knee up in those high knees, you are stretching and strengthening those hip flexors at the same time, which slowly pulls your posture back into place. So you're burning belly fat and flattening the look of your stomach in the same movement. Now, just like with burpees, you've got a couple of levels to choose from. Level 1 is a high knee march. Hold your arms straight out in front of you at shoulder height so they're sticking out level with the floor. Then step 1 foot at a time, bringing each knee up toward the hand above it. No bouncing, no running, just a slow, controlled step, one leg after the other. Level 2 is the full high knee. Same arm position as level 1, straight out in front of you at shoulder height, but now you're running in place, driving your knees up towards your hands as fast as you can, and landing light on the balls of your feet. This is the version that gets your heart rate pounding and really lights up the belly fat fast. All right, let's go to our third and final movement in the lineup, which is mountain climbers. This one does something to your belly that crunches and sit-ups simply cannot do. It's because a crunch only works the surface muscle on the front of your stomach, the one that people are trying to flatten. But mountain climbers fire up a deeper muscle that wraps all the way around your waist like a corset called the transverse abdominis. That deep muscle is the one that, when it's strong, actually pulls your stomach in flat. And the only way to train it is to hold a plank while your legs are moving, which is exactly what a mountain climber is. On top of that, mountain climbers are cardio and strength at the same time. Your heart rate spikes like you're sprinting while your shoulders and your core and your legs are all working together to hold you steady for strength. So in one single exercise, you're getting a full body workout that burns a serious amount of calories. Now, just like the other 2 exercises, I teach this in a couple levels. Level 1 is a standing mountain climber. Place your hands flat against the wall at about shoulder height, and then step back so your body is at an angle with your arms straight. And then from there, bring one leg up and back down. One knee toward your chest, back down. A little bit similar to your high knees that we did a little bit ago, but you really want to engage your core and keep it very tight. Level 2 is the full mountain climber. Get onto the floor in a plank position, hands directly over your shoulders, arms straight, body in a straight line from your shoulders to your heels. Pull your belly button in toward your spine, keep the core tight so that your back doesn't sag, just like we did when we were doing the burpee. Then drive one knee in towards your chest, tap your toe lightly on the floor, and quickly switch legs. You're alternating like you're running with your hands on the ground. For an extra challenge, drive each knee all the way up to meet your hands on every rep. This is considerably more difficult, so only try it once you've worked your way up to it. Note that when you're doing these, you need to avoid making the most common mistake, which is sticking your butt up in the air. When you do that, it takes all the work off your belly and then it turns the whole thing into a stretch. So your hips need to stay level with your shoulders the entire time to make this exercise work for you. Okay, now that you know the 3 exercises, let me show you how to put them together into a 10-minute routine that I use with all of my members to burn off belly fat quickly. Here's how it works. You're going to do each exercise for 50 seconds of hard work. Going to breathe hard to burn fat. You go as fast as you can during that 50 seconds. We're going to follow that with a 10-second rest before you move on to the second exercise. So burpees for 50 seconds, rest for 10 seconds. High knees for 50 seconds, rest for 10 seconds. Mountain climbers for 50 seconds. And then you will rest for a 40-second break. That is the conclusion of round 1. Once you take that 40-second break, you can catch your breath, you can drink some water, and you can reset. And then you're going to repeat that exact same routine 2 more times for 3 rounds total. And adding it up, the entire workout comes in just under 10 minutes and you're done for the day. Now, the question I get every time is, Doc, how hard am I supposed to push? I recommend using the talking test. If you can carry on a full conversation while you're working out, you're going too easy. If you can't get a word out, you might be going a little bit too hard. The sweet spot is right in the middle, where you can get a few words out, but not a sentence, and you're working hard. That intensity triggers all the fat burning that we talked about earlier without putting you at risk for any kind of injury. If you get hurt, you can't do it at all. So no one gets hurt. As for the frequency, my members see the best results doing this 5 or 6 days per week. If you did this 6 days a week and it takes 10 minutes, that's only 1 hour of exercise a week. Now, if you're brand new to the workout, you could start with just 3 days and then add a day every couple of weeks until you get to that 5 or 6. Now, it's normal to experience some muscle soreness for a day or two after working out like this, especially in the beginning. especially in your legs and in your core. But that's completely normal. It's a sign that your body is adapting. What's not normal is sharp pain, pain that doesn't fade after 48 hours, or pain that gets worse with each workout. If that shows up, back off to an easier level. And if you need to, check with your doctor. Now, finally, that you've got the 3 exercises and the 10-minute system, let me make this even easier for you. I've put together 5 free follow-along workouts that walk you through this exact system step by step. All you have to do is press play and follow along. If you're watching this on your phone, the link for that is sitting right there in the description below this video. If you're watching it on TV, scan the QR code on your screen with your phone's camera, tap the link, and all the workouts are yours. These are the exact same workouts that tens of thousands of members of our Living the Daily lifestyle that they go through and use on a daily and monthly basis. And I'm giving 5 of them to you completely free. So take advantage of those. Now that you got the only 3 exercises you need to burn belly fat after 50, the only question left is how fast you want to burn it off. If you want to drop the most weight in the shortest amount of time, then my next video is exactly what you need. In it, I will walk you through a full 1-day protocol from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep, designed to help you lose as much as 20 to 30 pounds in the coming weeks. In it, I'll show you what to eat and drink to keep your body burning fat all day long, the simple daily habit that strips pounds off your waist quickly, and the #1 mistake that shuts down your fat loss completely, even when you're doing everything else right. I will include a link to that video here. Click to watch it next, and I'll see you there.